conversation.
That's it, right? Like, if you don't know, then ask. Whereas I know a lot of people, they're a bit embarrassed, they don't know, and they just want to stay...
Avoid the subject and...
Yeah, and I know that confrontation isn't everyone's thing, but I don't believe that this conversation has to be confrontational either. I believe it can be done in a respectful way. You know, a lot of the things that you're speaking about, I'm learning today. Like, there were aspects that I didn't know about it, but I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, you're Māori, of course you want a Māori ward, and that's pretty much the box they put me in. And as you said, you know, we've both got our jobs to do, and I know mine's engaging people and finding out more about the Māori ward. So before I let you rock and roll, and we wrap things up, it's been an awesome conversation. We've been here for an hour and a half, can't believe it. Yeah. So one thing I want to ask is, I guess, for people that might have missed the start or missed the middle, just very, I guess, plainly, why do you think a Māori ward should be established?
I think that our council will make better decisions if we have permanent Māori representation on it. So if we've got a Māori voice who's thinking from a Māori perspective about Māori issues, and Māori issues are issues that help all of us. They're not just specific to Māori, but you know my understanding and what I notice is that Māori land is very important. So whenua will be an important subject for them to be talking and thinking about, making decisions about. Community, looking after your people is really important, and so having people who that's important to at that table will be valuable for all of us in our community. I think it's important for us as a community to say to our Māori friends and cousins and workmates and teammates, we value your voice, we want you in this position. We understand and recognise that it's hard for you to get there, so we want to help you get there, and we value and want you at the table. And last time they certainly didn't feel that way. And I think that it's a way of one little step of recognising the relationship that we were supposed to have when we signed the treaty and the settlers started coming. And saying, actually, you guys have a place at this table. You should be here permanently at this table. It shouldn't be something you have to beg for every 6 years. So, but I just think, and hopefully I don't sound patronising when I talk, but I just think we will make better decisions if we've got a Māori voice at the table. And I think the councillors will notice just having dinner at the table at the moment that better discussions will happen. And I know if you just have a group of white people, these are our experiences, that we're in this little box over here, circle, semicircles, whatever. And if you put somebody else in who's had different experiences, it widens that circle. So your ideas and thoughts and the decisions you make are going to be wider and better for that, having that different voice. And so if we have, the law, the Resource Management Act and the Local Government Act says we honour the treaty and their decisions should take the treaty into account. But if we don't have a Māori at the table, how do we do that? If they don't get a decision, and I know there's little committees to the side of the big table, but that's not making the decision, that's just
advising.
Yeah, passing on an opinion. So we actually need them to, we need our Māori friends, our Māori community to feel valued and be able to stand with pride and engage in our decisions and help make us better decisions. We will be better for it. And not, I'm a white person saying, I want you to come and sit at my table. No, it's our table. And why the hell aren't you here? How do we get you there? And I know that this isn't something Māori can do on their own. Pākehā have to do this. We have to stand up and do it. Because if Māori do it, then they get, activist, troublemaker. So,
well, in a democracy, right, it's majority rules, like essentially what it comes down to, and we are not the majority. Māori are not the majority, so they need help from people of that majority. Like, ultimately, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And because we're in a position where we can help, we have to help, once we notice that it's help needed, we need to help.
Last question, kind of completely removed from that, but this is just the question I ask for everyone that appears on the podcast, and kind of a big reason why this whole podcast started. There's someone listening right now who is having a very hard time. They're in a bit of a dark spot. What would your advice be, given, bearing in mind you're not a mental health professional, but what would your advice be, just from your own life experience, to help them get out of this low point?
Yeah, and I've had heaps of, I'm going to talk about it today, but I've had heaps of things happen that have been not good, really hard in my life, including we lost a little baby who passed, and at different times life has been really tough, and what's got me through is just focusing, especially Jessie was a little baby. I just had to focus on the next 5 minutes, and then I had to focus on the next 10 minutes, and then I can focus on the next hour, instead of trying to, the future and what's happening ahead, just break it down to just little increments and shrink your world. I really shrunk. I just stayed, made a very small circle and just tried to look after myself, and I had to have people in my circle, because if I didn't, that wasn't going to be good. But I shrank my world. I wasn't looking after anyone else. I just looked after myself and my family, and I made sure I exercised. Went for big walks every day. I didn't. I just kept my life really small. Just kept on thinking only what's going to happen for the next little bit, and then it got better. Life got better, and then it got worse. There was waves. You think you got it right, and then you beat down again, and then so I just. Knew that, just then shut my world back again, caught my breath again, then grew, widened it a bit. But I think, however you're feeling today, life is going to get better. You can feel like it's the worst, and this is the end of it. But actually, it's going to get better. Nothing, there's always something. There's lots of, all of us have opportunities that we can, that will come to us, and this little tiny period of time when we're feeling really grim is just that, and a lot of it's not real, it's just ourselves. So just look, keep your world small, look at, just focus on the next little period of time, and then as you're feeling better, what are you, looking at what do you actually want to be doing, what's going to make you happy. I don't know if I've done a good job of that, but... No,
that's awesome. I think focusing on those small sticks in front of you, because sometimes I call them, the big scary goal. It's motivating at times, probably when things are going great, but it can be scary when the foundations aren't right, and, the core of you isn't standing too strong. So having those little 5-minute, 10-minute increments just to push through is perfect. That's a good way to look at it. Is there anything else you'd like, any parting words or anything you'd like to say?
I just want to apologise for my pronunciation. I try my very best with te reo, but especially when you're in this sort of situation, you feel a bit, oh my God, I get it right, and then you stuff it up. But I do want to just say that it is hard to pronounce te reo right every single time when you haven't had any formal training in it, So I apologise if I've said things wrong and it's upset people, but my intention is right. I do want to say it right, but I know that my tongue isn't.
Yeah, it hasn't done the 10,000 laps to bend the right way.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Well, from myself, I just want to thank you for spending some time with me today. I know you're a super busy lady, got a lot of things going on, I just feel a lot more. I feel a lot lighter for having got to know you better in the last few weeks, and I look forward to all the things that we do together coming up. So thank you very much for joining me.
Kia ora, thanks heaps.
That was Best Side episode 26 with Karen Venables. If you want to sign the petition that we spoke about, you can head to the Best Side Instagram and Facebook pages, or simply head to actionstation.org.nz. That's actionstation, one word, .org.nz. Don't forget to subscribe to our channels no matter where you listen from, so you can get the latest episodes whenever we release them. Once again, please leave reviews, good, bad, or amazing. It's all welcome. I can only get better if I know exactly what you want and what you don't want. Also, if there are any guests or social issues you want me to approach, then definitely leave that in the review as well. Or you can head to our socials at Bestside on Instagram and Facebook, and also on Twitter now too. So let us know what you want in there, and I'll catch you next episode.